I just figured I'd turn the camera on for a live while I work on my garden today. Um, I'm trying something new. I have this on a tripod, so I have my hands free to actually work on the plants in the garden. So it's been a little bit tricky gardening and talking and getting the camera right doing these. But the last one went pretty well, and hopefully this will too. What I'm working on now is I have my Sun Gold Cherry tomatoes. Um, the guy who does our lawn came through yesterday, which is really great. We needed the grass mowed, but the lawnmower sped up all kinds of like debris onto my garden plants, and so hopefully it doesn't do anything permanent, but it does make them look kind of like not great because it's got all this debris on the leaves now. But I did like use an app on my phone where you take a picture of the plant and it tells you what kind of plant it is, and it tells you, it diagnoses it, if it's healthy, if it's got problems. If it says it's got problems, it tells you how to treat the problems. It's really a neat app. But it didn't look to me like there was anything wrong with my tomato plants, but um, the app said that they had some sort of bugs, like spotty leaves, which I didn't even see that looking. Obviously, my eyesight's not the best, but so I broke out the neem oil, which is really good for helping with pests, and I'm gonna, just for good measure, it's watered down a little bit, just for good measure, spray the leaves of all of my tomato plants just to be sure. So that's what I'm doing today. So here we go, and hopefully it'll clean off some of the debris that the lawnmower kicked up on the leaves as well. And I'm just going to talk about gardening things while I do that. And yeah, this one doesn't look all that great. I don't know if it's just been too hot and it's feeling dry and needs some water or what. Excuse me. From watching some other gardening videos, I did learn some interesting things about tomato plants. And it makes sense from looking at the way mine reacted last year, is they don't really like full hot sun all that much. It's contrary to what is said about them. Um, it, you can use shade cloth on them. Like too much sun and in too much hot sun for too long can actually hurt them and stunt their growth. And like that makes sense from the way I saw my tomato plants act last year. So I'm gonna try, and these actually something else that happened. I put some of my seedlings out on the front porch, which gets really sunny and hot, and the difference between the speed and the health that they grew at, which these are stunted now, and these came from the front porch where it was like too sunny. Um, the ones that I planted, I don't want to turn the camera now, but the ones that I planted and left in the back where it's not as sunny and bright, they're big and beautiful now. So too much sun actually does hurt them and stunt their growth. The other thing I learned is a lot of videos will teach you to prune out the little arms that grow in between the stems to grow new arms. I don't know what they're called. They grow in between the main stem and the stem that grows out. You get little new stems growing, and a lot of videos teach you to prune those out and take those out. They say it takes away from the growing of the plant and getting more fruit. Um, but actually, one video, and this also makes sense, said that that actually like hurts their growth. The reason people say to do that is because some gardeners, like in hot houses, will grow the plants very high, straight up, And hey, Nico Libre. Yeah, I have somebody who mows the lawn, but thank you for the offer. These are Sungold cherry tomatoes, JR104, that I grew from seed. I planted them in January, and they're just like getting a little bit bigger now. Your plant grows too fast? Your plants grow too fast, Nico Libre? What kind of plants do you grow? Um, yeah, these are Sungold cherry tomatoes. And like I was saying, this year I'm not going to prune them too much. This one guy who has videos, I can't remember who the creator is. He was saying they teach it that way because like hot houses that grow tomatoes plants like really high, because they have limited space. They trim off those little in-between branches because they can let the tomato plants grow way up high, and they're able to fruit more that way. But if you are able to let your plants spread out and you're not able to grow them super high, they recommended not breaking off those little the little branches that grow out in between, because they're actually working with photosynthesis and getting more energy for the plant, that it doesn't actually hurt it, or and breaking those off doesn't actually cause better growth and better flowering and fruiting. So I'm gonna stop doing that, because it seems like when I did that, like the plants grew funny looking anyway. And these plants do grow huge, like insanely big. And I'm only going to keep a few of them because I have too many to go in my yard. I have them advertised for sale on Facebook Marketplace. I haven't had any takers yet. I put them up 2 days ago for $3 a plant. Maybe I'll reduce that. I usually give them to the neighbors and to friends as well. But I've got like 60 plants. That's way too many to keep all of them for my yard. But and these on this side like are stunted. They haven't grown as well. And again, I think it's because they got too much sun too quickly. The ones on the other side, which I'll turn the camera and show those in a minute, they're growing beautifully. But strangely, even like the little ones are starting to get flowers, which is what happens. They get the flowers before they start getting the fruit. I imagine they're probably going to start fruiting in about June. And we get little cherry tomatoes all the way through to November, even when it starts getting cold. So they're amazingly prolific little little plants, and they love it here. I'm gonna pick up the tripod and show you this, but all of these, I don't know if you can see them. All of those are also tomato plants, but insanely, those are volunteers. Those aren't tomato plants that I planted. They just came up because what I did was, I guess when my tomato plants died at the end of last year, I put the dead branches along with probably some dried out fruit in my composter. And when I mixed the compost in this year with my garden bed, I guess there were seeds, and a billion little tomato plants came up, just all on their own. So I'm going to have to dig those up and replant them as well. So we're going to have even more than 60. But right now, I think I'm going to grab the hose. I'm going to get up a minute. I'll be right back. And I'm going to try to hose these off because the lawnmower sped up a whole bunch of like grass debris on these poor little plants. And I don't know if it's adversely affecting them or not, but it doesn't look nice. So I'll be right back. I'm just going to go get the hose. Hopefully the water in the hose will not get too close to my cell phone. There we go. Got the handy dandy hose. I'm just gonna grab my phone here. Whoops, there goes the tripod. Okay, there we go. I'm going to turn it around so you can just see what I'm doing. Yeah. There's my garden bed. See all the debris that the lawnmower kicked up on my poor little plants? So I'm just going to hose them off a little bit and give them a good drink. Oh, those might be a little bit harsh for them. Looks like it's knocking them over. So in here I have the volunteer tomato plants, spinach, and radishes. The things underneath the little milk carton tops are cucumbers, because they're particularly sensitive to the sun. They're really temperamental, so I'm waiting till they get a little bit bigger and stronger. Over here we have squash, which it hasn't gotten moldy yet. Usually it ends up getting moldy and I end up losing it. I haven't had great luck with squash. These, I think these are lima beans. They might be just runner beans. Oops. Actually, looking at those flowers, I don't think they're the lima beans. I think they're runner beans. Like these black runner beans. And these are my beautiful sweet peas. They haven't gotten peas yet, but they're getting flowers. So it's the first year I've tried to grow peas. Excited to see how that goes. Oh no, I'm getting water. Water and cell phones don't mix well. Try this. That's probably not good. Oops, excuse me. So I'll give you a tour of my garden. We can go around and see how everything's progressing. I did this last weekend and I ended up meeting a very nice person from India and talked to them for quite a while. So these are the big ones. These are the ones that weren't in the bright sunlight and they grew a lot faster. They were planted at the same time as the ones that really didn't grow that well. So it's interesting to note, like, slight change in condition can really affect how they grow. These are bush beans. These are going to be green beans, hopefully, if they survive and get green beans. Never tried to grow those before. I've only been gardening for about 3 years. I think I started 3 years ago. And it's definitely a learning process. I've had more failures than successes. More failures than successes, but every year I learn a little bit more. Watching YouTube videos, trial and error. These are my wrong way. These are my strawberry plants. Some of them are getting strawberries. I bought these from Gurney's as like just roots, and a bunch of them that I planted died, but some of them are doing okay. And these are some that I bought from Lowe's last year. They didn't really get to make strawberries last year. Ooh, those are getting kind of big. They didn't get strawberries last year, and then they died in the cold, and then they came back. So I guess that's kind of what strawberries do. Yeah, wow, look at that. I see these beautiful, we have a local like farm called McLeod Farms. They do peaches and other things. And I see their ads, and like in the middle of March, ads about, come see our beautiful strawberries. I guess they plant strawberries too, and they've got these big beautiful strawberries that they're growing in the middle of March. And I'm like, dang, I'm here down the street and hoping we get strawberries at all. I guess they're farmers. They know what they're doing. So maybe someday I'll have big, beautiful strawberries in March. These are my blackberry plants. They're getting pretty flowers. Again, I got these from Lowe's last year. And I think maybe we got like 2 blackberries last year. Again, they like died over the winter and then came back with a vengeance. This is a different kind of blackberry that I bought from Gurney's. And it's super happy there. It was the stem with the roots that I planted. But then there were 5 of them. And then the other stems really don't like it and have kind of, I think, all but died. So it's really weird. I don't know what it is about that spot and that plant. That's the only one that's like growing and flourishing. It's interesting. This particular spot by our shed, we have really sandy soil. But this spot, our neighbor next door, he's got these beautiful pine trees, and he took, I don't know if it was a pine tree, but it was some tree. And he took the tree down, and he had all this wood, and he asked my son if my son would help him move the wood. And my son was like, yeah, I'll take some of the wood. And so he took the cut wood logs, and he put them in this corner by our shed before we had this garden here. And we left that wood there for like 2 years, and it kind of rotted and decomposed for the most part. So we ended up moving part of it and burning part of it, but a lot of it was rotted and composted already. So we just churned that into the soil, and then we made this garden bed. So hopefully it has some really rich soil from that. I really didn't well, maybe I put some additional potting soil or like garden soil in there. I can't remember. But I'm thinking maybe that hit a pocket of fertile soil and the other ones didn't, and that's why that one's growing. Not sure. Ooh, it's really nice out here. I don't know if you can see the leaves blowing. It's really breezy. It's probably like 65 degrees, 70 degrees. There's a really nice breeze. Sunny, and I love the way it sounds out here because I guess the way the trees are, and there's lots of birds, so you always get like this echo of birds chirping. I don't know if you can hear it on the video or not, but so these are my hanging planters that I made from Coke bottles, and I tried planting some strawberries in there. Most of them have died. They really don't like being planted there, so probably gonna have to plant something else in those. Hopefully that we'll like it and won't be so temperamental. Thinking maybe marigolds. And these are my wild raspberry plants that just decided to grow all by themselves. That's what the plant finder says. It says they're raspberry plants. Hopefully we'll get raspberries. That would be cool. But the difference between the raspberries I planted and these is the raspberries I got are thornless. And these look exactly like those, except the difference is these have thorns. So all I can think of is, I don't know, it's like really weird. So they didn't come directly purely from my raspberry plants on the other side of the yard. I don't know. See, there's one of the raspberry plants, like the rogue ones that just came up. It managed, because it's beside the garden bed, to outsmart the lawnmower that got all the others that were sprouting up. What else? So I thought these were lima beans, but actually I think they're runner beans, these black beans that I got. These I believe are carrots. This, it says it's a toxic plant that I didn't plant that just grows. I can't remember. It looks like, I think it calls it a Pokemon plant. I don't know. But the plant finder says it's toxic. So I just keep like picking these and checking it over the fence. Don't want my dogs eating that. I don't know what this is, but it's kind of pretty. Some stuff just grows all by itself. That's a little cucumber plant trying. Here's another Pokemon plant. It's not welcome. Come here, you. Let's see, what else? My tomatoes. Whoa. My radishes are growing really nicely. I think they're supposed to get really big, but I'm super tempted to like pull them out and try them. This is spinach, and it looks like it's like going to seed. So I've been picking off the seed part of it and saving it, and maybe I'll try to plant the seeds. My cucumbers, not doing so hot. Not all of them. That one looks pretty okay, thankfully. Cucumbers are super difficult for me to grow. I have not had good luck with cucumbers at all. Last year, the only cucumber that actually ended up growing and having fruit was when I planted in the front yard and completely forgot was there. And I just went out one day in July and was like amazed that it had cucumbers on it. But that being said, I think I'm just gonna sit my butt back down and try to put this back on the tripod and just keep talking and tend to my garden. So thanks for stopping by. If you stopped by, thanks for giving a shout out and saying hey, if you've done that. But I'm just going to focus on my plants right now and talk, since I don't even know who I'm talking to. So let's try this here. This tripod, pretty cool. Sorry about the camera. You're trying to get it to focus. It's kind of tricky. There. So I'm just going to put this on my garden as I talk. You're welcome to listen. You're welcome to visit. Enjoy the peaceful setting. If I don't see your comment, if you comment, if I don't see it right away, I do apologize. I'm just going to be concentrating on my plants for right now. Yeah, the leaves got all dirty from like debris that the lawnmower kicked up. I hope it doesn't adversely affect them. Like they always say when you water the tomato plants to water them from the bottom, like at the base, so the water doesn't kick up like bacteria and pathogens onto the branches. So I don't know what to say about them getting all of the branches with kicked up debris on them, if that could cause problems with pathogens. I do not know, but hopefully the neem oil will help with pests at least. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just spraying neem oil on my tomato plants, because like I said earlier, I don't think the same people are in here. I don't think anybody's in here, but neem oil helps with any possible pests. And my plant app said that my plants had pests, even though I can't see that. The neem oil doesn't hurt the plants at all. I did use it last year as well. Unlike the hack of Dawn in dish liquid, that's a very bad hack. That killed all the leaves on my pepper plant. I would not advise that. I don't know what I did wrong. Obviously it worked for someone somewhere, but it did not work for me. It almost killed the plant. It killed all the leaves. The leaves came back, but it was very traumatic and upsetting after I spent like 4 months growing pepper plants from seed. So this was more fun last week. I gotta say, Oops, hello. What? Green screen? No. I don't want a green screen. Hello, what are you doing? Yes, I want to stop streaming. Nobody's listening anyway.